Hi Life Community Church. We're the Irwins, Chad and Andy, and we're happy to be part of your missions lunch this month. And we wanted to give you a little bit of an update about what's going on in our lives and the impact that we're having through MAF for the gospel around the world. And Andy and I both work here at our headquarters now after many years in Ecuador, where we got to meet Dave and Pam a long time ago. But now we're working on a more global scale because we get to be involved with people all over the world who are going to do the same thing that we did in Ecuador, but we're able to help equip and train them for the work that they're about to begin. So Andy's going to share a little bit about what she's been doing this last year working in ministry partnership.
So I'm what is called a ministry partnership coach, and that means I help new families coming into the organization. I help them raise their funds and connect with partners all over the U.S. and just help them be held accountable, because as they're raising funds with MAF, they're also being paid a salary until they get their support raised. And so it's just coaching them and encouraging them along the way. And as well as that, I'm in charge of about 40 to 45 families on the field that are also, most of them are fully supported, but they just need some encouragement and somebody back here at headquarters to help them stay engaged with their partners.
And we have a coach as well who keeps us accountable, and so we have to answer to someone about our support raising. And so that's a vital role that she's part of. I don't know if you had a family you would want to share about that you've been working with this past year?
Sure. I've been working with the Millers. Audrey and Jacob are from California. They're actually, they live about 4 blocks from the beach, which would be really nice. But they are heading to Mozambique. Jacob is a pilot and IT specialist, and they joined last winter, and they are at about 80% of their monthly support. And so each week I just call them, and we have about an hour conversation just about, what churches they're meeting with, individuals they're meeting with. Sometimes they're pretty discouraged and don't know, the money's not coming in, and so then I just, we brainstorm on ideas of what they could be doing differently. And yeah, they're getting close, and so they're looking forward to coming back out here in March for more training, and then hopefully by June-ish, they'll be heading to language school.
Yeah, and that kind of dovetails right into what I've been doing this last year. So I've been working with Moody Aviation and the students that are coming out of that program that we're working to, we call it mobilize now, but really it's recruit and try to figure out if MAF would be a good fit for them and help them figure out what it's like to get into MAF, the processes, the questions that they have about life overseas. And so I'm working with students that are kind of one step ahead or behind, I guess, the Millers that Andy's been working with. So trying to help them figure out just exactly what the process looks like of joining an organization like MAF. And so it's been a joy for me, and I know for Andy as well, to work with these families because we get to see the excitement that they have for serving the Lord. And so sometimes you think about young people and you think about the pressures of our society and the culture and millennials and all those things that we hear about, and sometimes we really take it in a negative light. But it's really neat to see how people are energized and excited about how they could be serving the Lord through MAF, and that's been fun to be part of. And I think I might have mentioned in our last video to you guys that I would be moving out of the mobilization or recruiting department into flight training. And so a neat thing about that process is that the folks that Andy is working with in ministry partnership who are getting ready to go overseas and are raising support, I'll have a hand in then helping train them in that last step before they head overseas. And so in January, I'll be moving over to the training department and working to help do evaluations for new pilots that are coming into the organization, do standardization training like we'll do with the Millers that are coming. Also to help keep our pilots that are on the field current by doing recurrent flights and evaluations for them, as well as some trips overseas, which will be interesting for me, having only been really in the Latin American context. I'm looking forward to seeing some of our other programs around the world and how they operate. And so it'll be fun for me. I've been out of the airplane for a couple years and just flying here and there, but come January I'll be full-time back in the cockpit. In fact, I already have my first trip planned. The 6th of January I'll be heading back down to Ecuador, so back to our old stomping grounds, and I'll be working with a new pilot that our national affiliate there, Alice Socorro, recently hired. He came up here and did his standardization training but he needs to have some field checkout to the mini strips that we fly to in the jungle. And so it'll be fun for me to be back and get to visit not only people on the program there in Shell, but also I'll be able to fly into a lot of the communities that I worked in for so many years and get to catch up with people. And I'm hoping to surprise them. I'm kind of hoping that they don't tell everyone in the villages that I'm coming back, because it'll be fun just to step out of the airplane and see them again. And so really looking forward to that. I have another trip later in the year planned for Central Asia. And so it'll be an interesting change from what I've been doing. But really our focus is still to see God's word go into to places that are very isolated, and to see isolated people come to know him. And so we're getting to have a more global impact here at headquarters versus when we were in Ecuador. And so it's neat to see a little broader picture about what MEF is doing around the world. And that's exciting for us to see. We wanted to give you a couple updates too about the family, about what's going on in our lives here in Idaho. As you know, we have teenagers now, and so we're going through that phase of life and trying to help them navigate what it is to be a teenager here in the United States, which is a little different for them. Olivia was born in Ecuador. She's 14 now, almost 15. She's a freshman in high school and dealing with the things that girls as freshmen deal with, boys, sports, trying to fit in, all of those things. So if you think to pray for Olivia, we're just praying that she would continue to shine for the Lord where she is. She's always been very sure in her faith, but she sometimes sees things very black and white. And so I think she's been learning a measure of grace this year as she's worked with people that have not had the same experiences that she has growing up. I don't know if you want to share about Josiah.
So Josiah is a senior. He is looking to go to college to be a history teacher. So he's kind of narrowed it down to Boise State so he could stay close to us. You could pray for him as he finishes up this senior year, that he just feels a lot of pressure with trying to apply for scholarships in school, and just, the whole idea of deciding your future is a little bit hard. So if you could pray for him in that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, both the kids are interested maybe in being teachers overseas sometime. Their experience obviously has influenced them, and we hope to see how the Lord works in their lives. But most of all today, we just want to thank you, Life Community, for the support that you've been for so many years. It's just awesome to see how God connected us. I don't even remember the year when Dave came down for that first flight and got to fly him in. I remember the community of Kuswimi. We flew down through this little hole in the clouds and circled down onto this really marginal airstrip, and we got out, and I remember Dave's eyes were just wide, and he was just like, now that's flying. And it was just fun for us to be a part of the ministry that your church has had through the Waters family and as a church body. And so thanks so much for supporting us. We just look forward to visiting you the next time we get a chance to be in Virginia. Thanks.